Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial video. Back from my Christmas vacation, got 4 new sketchbooks, and this really cool art tin of Ronnie and Daler sketch pencils and stuff. I've got 3 woodless ones, which is really cool. They're a pain to sharpen. I wanted to use them, but like I said, they're a pain to sharpen. Alright, any music you hear in the background is simply my stereo or YouTube playing. I own none of the music. I don't claim to own any of the music. I don't claim to own any of the Yu-Gi-Oh caricatures. Thank you. All the Yu-Gi-Oh characters belong to Takahashi-san. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Anyway, today's tutorial is on my Blue Eyes Shining Ultimate Dragon that I made for Anta1234 at DeviantArt.com. I don't know where my sketchbook that actually holds the image went, so let's see if I can do this. Oh! Okay, that's not quite what I intended. Let's see. There you go. Hopefully y'all got the image there. I don't know. I ain't playing with that. Anyway, so, let's get down to it, shall we? Okay, this one I had to be a little creative with, because most of the reference art that I found for the Blue Eyes Shining Ultimate Dragon had his wings extended out. So to make him straight up, I had to be a little creative. So, let's put you over here. Okay. Moving my web screen page. Okay. There we go. Alright. So yeah, I actually used the drawing I made as a reference. For a reference. Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to start with his head. Now remember, this is a drawing of a drawing that I made previously, so try not to hold much of it against me, and this might take a little while. Okay, that part. Oh, and if you're curious, I am using a 0.7mm lead pencil. Boom, 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 boom. And don't mind me if I start singing. It's actually a focusing tool that I use. Like I always say, don't forget to bring an eraser. If you don't have an eraser, you're not doing it right. Or you've had a lot of practice with your image. Either way. Okay, so there's that. Starting back here, I'm going to start on the neck ridges. Okay. In the image I have on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 neck ridges. You can use less. I think in the reference art I had, he had 5, not 6. So, maybe I should try going for 5 instead of 6. We'll see how it looks. Okay, when you get about right here, go back up. These ridges here, try to make sure that the end of the previous ridge extends a slight further out than where you start the next. Okay. It's a little wide there, so I'm going to shorten that up. Like so. Okay. Now remember, each time that the base needs to be a little wider, coming back up, like in a triangle or trapezoid type shape. The base is wider. Okay. Let's see, I've got how many ridges so far? 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and go with 5 for this image, rather than 6 in my previous image. Okay. Okay, this side's not cooperating a bit. So I'm going to turn the page and there we go. That works better. Okay. And that's a little bit of a rough edge there. Okay. I'm going to make sure all these sections are smooth, symmetrical, off on the path. Alright. And I'm going to come up here and make the neck gauntlet for this dragon. Call it a neck gauntlet because I don't really know what else to call it. Okay. This is going to be the somewhat tricky part because you have to make small shape here, like this. Then you extend down further. Okay. That's a little too angled. I need to bring it up a little on this side. There we go. Okay. Well, as this still goes down, and it goes here. I just realized the sketchbook that I have is going to be a little small for this. I'll still go with it. Okay. Going to go ahead and make the large gem that's in the chest plate. Ta-da! Okay, now there's a small portion of this part of the framework of the dragon comes down here. Okay. And there's this small part that extends off over here. Yep. Okay. Now, there's going to be a small part here that you need to make. This is part of the dragon's body as well. It's one of the panels. Okay. And then you got this one here. Okay. Now, coming up from this section, we have the wing. Now remember, I'm still just going off something I made previously, which was kind of a slapped together portion in itself. So some of these lines may not make sense right away. But I assure you I'm not trying to confuse anybody on purpose. Trying to confuse you means that I will confuse myself, which is not very hard to do. Okay. Okay. Now this is a portion of the dragon's wing. It connects to the body. You come down here and you make your first jewel on the wing. Remember to be careful with this. Okay. And this side comes back around over here. Okay. And from this spot, you extend up the wing. Extend into the wing so you can actually see it. Okay. And this is where you'll make another one, but a larger structure. And this one's going to actually be a larger gem piece. So now this one you want to make a little more ovular rather than round. And to create the dimensional, the difference in shape to show where the jewel actually protrudes slightly from the dragon's wing frame. The frame of the dragon's wing. Okay? You see that so far? Good. Okay. We're there so far. Okay. Now, this part's going to be a little tricky, so I'm going to come over here and do this next. Otherwise, it's going to be very easy to confuse yourself. Now you come up here and extend this part, okay, up a little bit, but the second line on the inside needs to be a bit longer, so you bring it around like this to create a curved edge. Comes up to create the top portion of the wing. You'll want to stop that right about there. Once you get a good arch on it, not too sharp. Okay, that's how I did that. Then this part is where you're gonna get part of the plating in the wing. Dude. Okay. Then you create a shape somewhat like that. Kind of reminds me of a curved fingertip, to tell you the truth. Then you bring out this edge and a line here, and this comes down to actually meet the gem structure, which I apparently forgot it actually is fused to that part, so you need to open up that circle a bit there to get that added in. Oops. No, that's perfect. Okay. So we got that. Then this part cuts off here and comes in. Okay. But this is where we start making the ridges at the top of the wing. Let's come down to do that. No, mine aren't very straight at the moment. There we go. So a little erasing there, which is fine. Bit of the same thing here. If it's too thick, run your eraser along the edge to make it a little thinner. Because these lines aren't supposed to be very thick, unlike what I'm currently drawing. Okay, and so we have the top ridge there. Now, from about right here, I'd say about halfway, 2/3 about halfway down, you want to start a line, draw it down the wing. This one you want to try and keep a little straighter, and you get to about right here. Bam. There's that. Now you can do it this way for this part if you want. Or you can go the other way. This part comes around here and then comes down to meet the orb as well. And these parts don't actually open up and combine to this metal ring though, so you're good there. Just lines that connect to all of it. Ooh. And a little more straight edge there. Okay. So now you have the actual wing armor to the wing done. Okay. So there's that. It completes one link. And yes, this part right here sits here because it apparently connects somewhere in there. In there connects there. So yes, this part right here extends off by itself for the most part. Okay, now bring this back up. There's that. And then this part comes up to meet it. This is pretty straight for parts right here. And I got this angle a little wrong. Because you're supposed to have a little bit of space there. There we go. There. Okay. Alright, so this comes up to meet the neck plate again, which I think is a little too far out. And shorten that up a bit. Okay. Now, this part of the dragon's neck piece is actually supposed to come and curve downwards. So, there is that. Trying to get my pieces to line up a bit better. Okay, there we go. Alright, so there's that portion. There's that. I'll just step on apart. I had this trouble with this part too the last time. Okay. And then you got part of the tail that comes down this way. Looks like I'm going to be cutting off part of the toes by the looks of it. Okay, so you get a nice curve here going. Oh. Stoned. Okay, that'll become the tail portion that's underneath. Comes down from here. Bring it around here. Take this side and bring it around here. Okay. Okay. Now, up here is going to be a little tricky, but you want to get a circular section here and bring down the paneling for the leg. That's how I do this. Okay. And I get this. Bring it up here. Bring it down here. You get a diamond shape. Then you bring it a slight curve down to about here. Okay. Bring it up, but only about halfway. And then you actually make kind of crescent. Ta-da! That's where we're at so far, if you're following along. It's kind of hard. Wish I could stick this thing over my shoulder, too. You can just watch it from, like, my point of view. I like to keep that line right there because it's going to help later. Believe it or not. Okay, now, 2 lines on either side of this point. Okay. Bring it down about 2/3 halfway. Then we're going to make the first an outer circle for the gem. Okay. Then on the inside, you just make a smaller circle for the actual gem itself. I think I'm going to call these like gem cells. Yeah, gem cells sound good. So for the gem cell, okay. Now down here, about right here, you make a little stripe just across. That's all. In this section, there's going to be a smaller half circle. It's part of the knee joint for the dragon later. Okay. Now just make 3 triangular shapes. Okay. here, here, and here. These are your toes. And then you're going to make the claws by doing a curved triangle on the bottom. Try to keep the lines inside the smaller points, the first triangles that you created. Down here, the base on this here is going to be a little wider, so when you do the claws, try and keep it inside the point, reference points there. Okay. Now, this you can go ahead and bring the tail around if you want. Okay. Now, down here in this section, you need to show where the leg actually attaches to the body's frame. That's shown by a small circle here. Okay. There's going to be a smaller circle on the inside there, which is where the leg joint actually meets with the leg. You don't actually see anything behind the paneling to show anything there, so just draw that second circle. And then you're doing curving outward lines. Small plates that overlap. Now, on the other side over here, we're going to go out right about here. We'll bring this down about right there, a decent distance away from the body. We're going to bring this part over here, and we're going to draw a line here. Okay, now these lines don't actually they don't touch, they don't come together, because you got the plating for the next leg over here. Okay, get a small curve going there. And then we draw the next leg. A large curve. Try to keep the two legs about roughly the same size. You can make this one on the left a little smaller if you want. To show the relative positions of the two items. This one being a little further away. Okay, now this one you'll make a little small corner here. Bring it back up in a curve. And then another half moon, but it's not as deep as the one on this side. Okay? It shows that the plating is at a slightly different angle. Okay? But this also is going to show a little more of what's going on over here. Got another cell structure right here where the foot is. It comes around. This sort of fuses to create a kind of snaily shape. This is actually going to be the gem itself down here. Okay? Try not to do anything with it at this point. If, like me, you think it's a little too thick, you can go ahead and erase, make it look a little thinner. But that's the general shape you need. And then this side needs to come up and meet up back with body. Like so. Ta-da! Okay, now we need a claw frame here. Don't ask what this is for. I don't really know. Okay, but from this you're going to create the first a triangle for your claw frame, a framework for the claws, okay? Some of which hides behind the paneling. And again, you make your claws. Remember to keep within the 2 points of structure, not quite meeting the outer points, but just enough. Just inside it that you can tell there's a difference, that the toe frame is a little thicker, okay? Okay. Now this part's going to get a little tricky because it's so tiny. Need to make, in the part for where you made your toes, say this was my claw. Okay, say this was the claw. You're going to need to create a small triangle here. Okay? This, then another line that comes up and meets there. Okay? Then, when you do the claw itself, it actually just comes out right there. You don't make another triangle there. Okay? So this becomes the claw. Okay? This is the toe for the frame that I was making. Okay? Now I'm going to erase that because it's not actually part of the picture. Okay, so you do that for all of the toes and claws. Remember, it's tiny work over here. Probably don't see a lot of what I'm doing. You want to try and keep the triangles a little on the small side. Da, 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 da. To keep the toes from looking too big or broken. Okay? Now I have no problems if you want to create a little ditty right here to actually fit the other foot. That little backwards kind of toe thing, but it's not in my original drawing, so it's up to you if you want to do it. Okay? And there are my toes. Okay. Now we're going to do the gem cell on this side. Now this one you want to remember to keep with the curve. Okay. And again, try to keep it about 2/3 to halfway down like you did the other one. The one on the other side here. Okay. I'm going to bring it around. Make your first outer circle for the cell. Okay. There. There's your first cell. And of course over here, you make your little stripe. Well, that was horrible. So, there's that. Ta-da! There's the feet. Okay. Now, as for the continuing of the tail, it'll come out here. And literally for this part, you just make it a little part, curve it up, bring it under. A little kind of box work. And you do that for the whole tail. Bring a little curve up here, Remember, with each consecutive part, the next part of the tail is actually going to be a little smaller. Just a tiny, tiny bit smaller with each repetition. Just inside. Okay, and as you curve around, take into consideration as you curve around the parts that okay. The necessary shape doesn't change, just the angle in which you draw it at. Okay, and this is how I created the curving effect on my shining dragon's tail. And I keep going until I say I'm done. Until I say, oh, I'm done. It's done. Ta-da! And it keeps going around and around and around. Okay. So basically when you get to starting to flip it over, as it curves under, you keep the spiked edges these spiked sides facing the same direction. You don't change their direction at all. Just keep them going under. Okay. You just keep going until you decide, I'm done. I have a long enough tail. Okay? If it helps, you can go like this. Oop. Oop. If it makes this part a little easier for you, just go ahead and do it that way. But the position of the wings and the tail in my original drawing are what I had to get a little creative with, because the tail mostly pointed off in that direction with the drawings with the reference material that I used. Okay, and then you decide to make your point of the tail. Ta-da! Okay, now to do the other wing, this is where it really had to get creative. Okay? You still have to make that same little shape here. It came up, like on this side. If you're not careful, like that right there, what I just did, I actually want to stick it in the wrong freaking place. Okay, so let's try that again. Click. Okay. And then you have to add this part. Okay. Okay. So we got all that working for us. Okay. This is the creative portion. Since I don't know how it actually connects on this side, I created a small crescent here again. Okay. And I drew this line, but I brought it around. To create a okay, and then this little part here. Okay. Alright. Now would probably be a good time to put in the lower jaw of our dragon, which is fine. Come up here. Ugh. Little bit of a kinky song. Okay, then we have to have a cell structure here. But this is a tiny one. Okay. Okay, you want to make sure you get a little eye there. Okay. That's going to help when you go to make the wing here, because it gives it a bit of a reference point. Okay, so take this, and we're going to take it up to meet the jawline. And we're going to curve this part around the head. So this wing is completely 100% my thought process. Okay, and make this frame up here again. I want to make it a little wider though for the angle than I did on the last one, simply because that's how I did it. Okay, and take it around this way a bit. Okay, now remember this. Okay. Now you can leave that there for now. I did. Come up behind the head here, about halfway on that first spike. Bring it up, say about an inch, half an inch, half an inch. You gotta do another large cell structure. Your jewel cell structure. Well, not as large as the one on this side. Okay. I did not make it as large as the one on the opposing side. Okay. You make your gem follow, because you gotta remember it's round. Okay. Now, bring this side down. Make your little wings sections. Okay, so now you have those 3 panels over here as well. Make sure you can tell that they're actually ridged. Ta-da! It looks a little thick. Da-da-da. There we go, much better. So, there's that. Ta-da! Okay. Remember, this actually has to join up with this. So if you accidentally close the circle, go ahead and erase. I do that a lot. Okay, and you got that. Okay, then you draw this part. It's going to come up. I'm going to go ahead and make this little curvature here first. About midway, you can make this line meet the back of the dragon's head. Alright. Now we're going to do the wing panel, the feather panels. We'll come up that way. Oh, forgot to close this over here. Okay. We're going to start with the wings on this side now. I mostly do it like this. Okay, you want a straight out line. Now, in my original drawing, these were about 2 inches in length. But I apparently don't have that much space, so I'm going to have to work with it. Okay. Now, this is where a straight edge will come in very handy, though I don't like using straight edges. Okay. These panels pretty much fold up on each other, so I'm going to get the top ridge of each of these metal feathers to be noticeable. And again, straight edges would help, but I'm being particularly stubborn. When you meet the bottom edge of each of the feathers, on the top there's 5. On top there's 5, on the bottom there's 4. Okay, top. And the next panel is started by the bottom of the last panel. And they roughly came to about midway down. Most way down. Okay, last panel here. Which means you won't start the ridge in the next panel beneath it. You'll just draw the line. Okay? Now, about right here is where I want to. Gosh. Golly. Okay. Here. If I can, I want to show you here. Notice how I've made the bottom of it a bit shorter than the panel above it. Okay. In my original drawing, bottom of the previous panel is a bit shorter than the length of the panel beneath it. It comes in a bit. Okay? And but the actual point of this panel would be longer than the point of this panel. Okay? Basically, panels would come out looking like that if you have a big enough piece of paper. I do not. Might be able to show you. No, I'm not going to show you with the next one. Okay, so this one, there's a small bar here that you're going to draw down. Okay, where the jewel pops out is where you're going to start the lines for the next set of panels. Okay. Now these ones, the top ridge isn't as noticeable, but you can make them if you want. Okay. This first panel is going to be a little different than the others. It's going to come out. The base is going to be longer than the next one. Okay, that next panel comes out just a tiny bit more, but it curves back under the way the other one was going. The other one's on the top were doing. Okay? And then you create 4 panels. Okay? And they're going to come down. Okay. A very strange form. I don't know how this exactly works, but that's what we're doing. And again, a straight edge would be a great tool to use here. I'm just being stubborn. So, use a straight edge. That's anything with a straight edge. A ruler, the edge of your notebook, a pencil, a straight edge. Okay? And that'll actually give you a small idea of how the wings on the top are supposed to look. Okay? Now, there are only 4 panels there. So that's all you gotta draw there. Now, try to draw the ones in the back. Similar to that, but you gotta have them pretty much appear behind the previous, the other side's wing. Don't forget to put the top spacing for the ridge on the top of it. Space for the ridge on the top. Blah, 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 blah. Golly. Okay. Try to keep them as evenly spaced as panels, though slightly thinner, just a smidge thinner than the ones from the other wing. Just a smidge thinner. Show their distance away. Show that they're a distance away from the others, so they don't appear as large. Try not to make too much of a difference, or your picture's going to look a little lopsided. Okay? Oh, looks like I got a broken piece there. Lead. Alright, I am down to my last piece of lead in my pencil right now. Yay! Okay, and remember, you need 5 of these panels. Fresh piece of lead. Plenty of edging to work with. Okay, 4 and 5. Okay. Made a tiny bar down here too. Okay. And then you draw your 4 little panels, your 4 smaller panels down here. 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Alright, now I think I've got the wing panels. Funny bar, I never understood what it was for. Okay, oh, I am missing a little piece down here. Comes out like this and comes down on the wing. Okay. I suppose it's part of the dragon structure, okay? So we got claws, feet, legs. wings. Alright, now it's time for details and shading. Start on the head. This is part of the shading. I should probably do the actual lines first. Okay, I'm going to make this first line. Comes down to meet where all the ridges of the head meet. Make a small half crescent here. Okay. And the points of the dragon's head come down and under. Down and under. Okay. Don't want to close them off because there's going to be a round. There's going to be another gem structure here, cell structure. Okay. Doesn't have to be a particularly large one. I think mine's going to be a little larger than the one I made last time. Then, part down here where the dragon's thing came up, you gotta come up like this, come out, come in. Create a little zigzag. Like so. But you gotta do the same thing on the other side. Try to keep symmetrical. I make no promises. I am not symmetrical. I am asymmetrical. I suck symmetricals. Okay? Remember, the actual eye of this dragon is down tiny in there. Down tiny in there. You make a little dot in there. That's where the eyeball is. Okay? Now you make little lines on the gem structure here and here. Ta-da! Okay. And then we just go from there. I make a line here, because there's a line there. Then we do a little... This is going to be part of the shading. Okay. Yeah, now we're just working on shading and details. Okay, so this is why I said I wanted to keep that little line there earlier. Okay. Like these. And this, you kind of create a little triangle in the center. Okay. This will be used as a reference points for the neck ridges. Okay. Now this part needs shading here. Same thing here. Okay. Here. And all the way up, you shade the side there. And you make a curve on this side. Go up forever. Okay. These are just shadow streaks right here. Streaks of shadow. You don't have to do anything there. You need a little... Oh, I forgot about that little detail. Okay, you need a little circular curve right under here to identify the neck joint. Okay. On the side, you just... Here, and you make a little shade like so. Okay, you shade out that part there. Make a little V in this area, shade what's closest to the body. Another V point here. Okay, this part we just shade the portion closest to the bottom. It's darkest here in line with the gem. Okay. Now this is a little ridge panel of its own. Okay. Here we're going to create kind of icicle shape, and you do that. Like that there, and you shade this. These are for your darkest shade points. Anime has a lot of shading to it, but it's very simple shading. Like, this is the dark part, this is the light part, blah blah blah. This is where it's the darkest. Okay. Okay. And make the lines on the underbelly of the tail. Whee! Okay. Mustn't forget about those. Okay. I'm just doing the paneling on the shadow. Okay, and keep it over here. Okay. You can get a little creative with some of the shadows if you want. Put a line here, and here, and you follow it down on this side. Okay, here. These are shadow lines. You got a shadow there. Okay, and use this thing over here. And you go over the actual line with some shading. Go for the panel there. Go around this side here. Da 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 da. Okay. Do the shading on the tail. You just make little curve marks where the shadow would be darkest. Okay. You can put a little oomph to it, shading in the angle. You do it for all the panels, but once you get over here to where it's curving in, you actually want to make it a little bigger and flip over the shade. Okay. Now remember to follow the lines. Now here, get to about here, you shade just the corner. Okay. Then, again, you'll flip it. And you continue to flip it as you need. Okay. And then you have all the shades on the tail that you want. You think it looks right. Make sure you get your darkest shade where you want it to be. I don't know why it looks necessarily like that, but that's what all the reference material sourced. Okay. Okay. And you can add a bit of light pressing to create some very gentle pressing like shadows, or you can just take your finger and drag it on along the darker part. It'll create a little shaded streak through it. Ta-da! Okay, if it seems to fade out the other lines, feel free to go ahead and make them a little darker. Like so. Go back over them again. Okay. Don't worry too much if you get like double lines there. It adds to the effect. Okay. This part was shaded in my original drawing. Okay. Didn't actually add too much shading there. Though I did get some going on down here. I think it was more an unintentional thing than intentional, though. But, okay. The wings, you make little Oh, little smiles. Put these little streaks in there. Okay. Part here you'll want to shade. Some there. Here you'll want to make little curves. And these parts will be the darkest part of the shade. You can add a little more out. You can just rub on the spot a bit. Okay. Go down the wing a bit. Indicate this bottom part's darker. Okay. Okay. Now these parts are exposed. Now remember, these top ridges on the panel are exposed to more light, so they need to stay a white color, not shaded. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. If you need to, again, darken the lines to emphasize their position. Okay. Try to keep it clean. This is where I get most of my erasing, is trying to keep this clean. Okay. You can add shading up here if you want. Like so. Ta-da. Okay. That kind of thing. Put a little shading here. I didn't do this part of my thing. I was way too tired by then. There's shaded paneling here. Okay. Ta-da. No. This part of the head is still pretty shaded. Bring it down to meet the gem cell structure. This shadow here is really emphasized. Comes down around here. There's that. Same thing on this side. Comes down about right here. That whole panel there is colored. Okay. So you got that. And you got the nose. Okay, don't be afraid to do a little shading over here on the wings and stuff if you want. Okay. Shadows on this wing might not be as dark as the other wing. They're exposed more to the light. Okay. And like I said, you don't have to necessarily draw in the shadows. You can just kind of rub them in with the lines that are around them. Ta-da! These ridges over here. Okay. Now to do the the shading in the gems is actually fairly simple. Okay. Make a big curve here. Don't close it. You make little ripples in here. And then you just put shading in the center. You can draw a little line. You can draw the little shaded lines in there as well if you want. Okay. Ta-da! Down here we're going to put kind of like a little question mark shape. Ta-da! Here we're going to put a little crescent moon. Okay, but remember when you do this part that it gets tricky because the center of the gem is the deepest part of the gem, so it actually receives the most shading. Okay? And if you need to, go ahead and go back over it and erase some of the shading to keep some of the parts, of it light. Ta-da! And then you just go and do that for each of them. Over here, we're gonna do kind of smiley. Keep the center of it dark. You can also actually just keep the center bright too, as a reflective light. Over here, you want to get a little more detailed, like the center jewel. And curve out, do that. Remember the center being the darkest portion. These lines are all the darkest portion of the shadows. And just do another one of those weird smileys for this one. Okay, and then you just do a little shading. Okay, this one I put a tiny little moon in there and shade it. Okay, now don't forget the one down on the foot. Down here, all the way down here. That one I made a little thing. Okay. So I got this one and I got that one. And this one I'm pretty sure is a gem too, but I'm not gonna fight with it too much. Okay. And I don't think I forgot anything, so there you go. 1 blue eyes shining ultimate dragon. Okay, don't forget your shades over here too. Oh, I forgot a little portion here. You're gonna need to come up, create the little line that's over here on this side too. So you're gonna do this and bring it down a tiny bit. And get another little gem cell right there. Make another little gem. This is the underside of the wing. Okay, this is the underside of this wing. It's on this side of the dragon. Okay. So don't forget to make this little gem here too. Okay? We'll get a little shading back there going on. This isn't part of the wing, so it doesn't need to be shaded. Okay? And there you have it. 1 blue eyes shining ultimate dragon. Ta-da! -8-17. Ta-da!